live from the campus of Holyoke Community College. This is 103.5, the best in variety, with Big Al on Midday with the Raj. Folks, can you believe it? It's part 10.
Woo!
Honestly, I have a special guest with me today, too. Her name is Joan. What's your last name?
Doucette.
Doucette, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming on to Midday with the Raj. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'll tell the story of how you came in, actually. Last week, guys, she came in, I was doing schoolwork, and she came in, actually, and she told me, she's like, hey, do you want me to come on your show? And, come talk about sports.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. I mean, and to be honest, I really appreciated it because she was the first one to come on the show and get it started and get it rolling. Well, not get it started, get it rolling. She's the first one to come up and ask me. Not many people have came up and asked me, folks. So that was really nice to have, her come up and, go on the show and, come here to do a show with me. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I love sports, and talking about it with you, you're super passionate about it. So this is exciting.
And I'm glad that you came because, that was huge. I think before we do the script, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? I did tell you I would let you have most of the talking today and and I'll chime in when needed.
That's a tall order.
So before we get started and let Joan do her ish and let her talk about her background and her sports and everything like that. I will be doing, this wasn't even my idea. Actually, it was my friend Ian's idea yesterday. I will be doing live Yankees coverage because they are on at literally in 2 minutes. So I'll have live coverage of the game, give you updates, for the 45 minutes that I'm on the show. But after all that is out of the way, go ahead, Joan. You're a Philadelphia sports fan.
I am.
Did you grow up in Philly, or is this where you've lived your entire life?
So I actually grew up in Maryland, but I married into a Philadelphia family of sports fans, and I think it's just one of those things where I had to join. But it's been great. I mean, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year, that was incredible. A great run. And in the fashion that they did it too. I mean, classic. And to see, Saquon Barkley get one, which I know is against your Giants, was...
I'll chime in on that in a second. Go ahead, continue.
No, that was great. I mean, he had an amazing year. And I think, honestly, he was the missing piece in that roster. And I think, Nick Sirianni said it, but I think, he was one of the last magic pieces that we needed on that team, because otherwise that team is pretty clutch. Excited to see what they do this off season and signings. I believe in Howie Roseman, but we'll see how that goes. What you got?
Oh, 100%. And so you're obviously you're a Phillies fan.
I am.
You're an Eagles fan.
Yes.
And I'm guessing you're a Flyers fan.
So I am a Flyers fan, but I'm actually a bigger fan of Gritty than I am the actual Flyers, which I know, sorry, Philadelphia fans, if you hate me for that. But I just think he's a great mascot.
To be fair, you're a fan of two of the Philly teams anyways. So
yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
It's really, at the end of the day, it's really not that much at the end of the world.
I know. Yeah. And I mean, the Sixers are just blowing out and just dying in flames right now. To be honest with you,
out of all the teams this year, they've had the roughest year out of all of them.
Oh, definitely.
In Philadelphia, I think that it's been not the pleasing year for all Sixers fans. And,
they just had a losing streak lately. I was hoping maybe they could make the playoffs, but that's not going to happen.
So you told me a little bit about your background, and so were you originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
No, but in that area, I mean, you really just have the Ravens and the Orioles and then the Philly sports teams. So there isn't really, you choose one or the other depending on how close on the border you live, wherever.
Sure. So, yeah. So, I mean, where exactly did you grow up before you moved to Massachusetts?
So I actually grew up closer to Baltimore, about 30 minutes from Baltimore. So or Balmer, as they say.
So you lived in Maryland, Baltimore,
I
Maryland.
did live in.
That means you were right next to Camden Yards and
Yeah.
What the name of it is? U.S. Bank Stadium, right?
Yep.
So you were right next to the Orioles ballpark, which I want to check out eventually. I've checked out Fenway, I've checked out Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
But there are some stadiums I want to check out. Baltimore, maybe Chicago. I knew a pastor that grew up near there.
Yep.
He went to a bunch of Cub games. Wrigley Field's actually the oldest field, and the second oldest is Fenway. I think you knew that though.
Yeah. And I
want to check out maybe the Rogers Center. There's a few spots I want to check out.
Where's that at?
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
But no, back to the point. So you're a Phillies, you're an Eagles fan, and not really a Flyers, but
I'm a Greedy fan.
fan.
I mean, and I watch the odd like basketball game here and there. Most recently, I've been watching a lot of college basketball, but the Sixers just
the national championship just happened.
It did, and that was also crazy. Like Florida won over Houston. It was 65-63. So at least it was a close game. It was really good.
Here's the thing. I need to start, and before I let you continue, I need to start watching March Madness more.
You should.
I watched a few years ago when my friend showed me some highlights and ish like that, but I didn't really pay attention like that.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I did and continued paying attention. I just didn't.
Yep.
But, definitely will continue. Well, probably next year, next March.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to, go back and watch it again. I haven't really done that in years. Like I told you, since my friend, showed me some highlights on YouTube at school.
Yeah.
But I haven't really watched like that.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, the only way to make it more interesting was actually doing a bracket. And so that makes you a little bit more invested just to see what teams are doing what. But honestly, I think the women's championship tournament was a lot more exciting. I mean, you have UConn, they got their 12th championship. And they did great. They had an incredible season, first of all. They had 37-3, I believe, and the men's was 24-11, but they got knocked out in the second round. But yeah, the women's completely dominated, which is insane.
Yeah, definitely. I think you know more about that than I do. But all right, so should we get to the script? I got your background.
Go for it.
We already talked about NCAA, so that's already out of the way. I didn't even have that. I will bring up the MLB. Like I said to you all out there, I will cover the Yankees. They're starting literally a matter of seconds. So at 110, rubber match. Trying to avoid getting swept. The last few days for the Yankees have been pretty cold. Offense has not had a great day. Pitching's been pretty antsy. But yet again, like everybody says, it's April. So we have, Joan and I will say, and anyone other MLB fan will say, the battle of 162.
Yep.
So,
and I mean, they're 6-5 for the season, so it's not a bad start.
Record standing, none of that means nothing.
Right, not right now.
Unless if you're Atlanta, that's 2-8 or some ish like that right now. But other than that, but winning streaks are a thing too. So
yep,
you can win the division in April, but you can also lose it. Doesn't matter. Division doesn't mean anything right now. 6-5, taking on the 7-4 Tigers today. We have Max Fried against Jack Flaherty. The game's going to start, like I said, in a matter of seconds. We got the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. We got Gosman versus Tanner Houck. And I heard you wanted to talk about the torpedo bats. You mentioned that to me last week, so fire away.
Yeah, so the torpedo bats are actually not new. It's not a thing that was invented this year. They've been around for a while. But I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I mean, when they played the first game with them this year, they just dinged a bunch of homers. But they just couldn't get it done the other day. They got shut out. So what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I feel like if everyone continuously keeps using the bats, I feel like if teams if one team uses it, then everyone's gonna use it. I feel like everybody is gonna start using it at the same time. There's gonna be teams won't be doing that stuff. And I feel like the more teams do it, by the end of next year, I guarantee you, or no, by next year they're gonna ban it.
Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, I don't think it's really gonna last as long as people say it's gonna last. I think you're gonna see sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Teams are gonna, the front office of the MLB will, probably get rid of all that at the same time, come up to an agreement with it because, the Yankees have it, other teams have ordered it.
Yep.
So, we'll see how it goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, because I mean, the official rule, right, is like a length to weight ratio. So as long as it like meets that, you can put, the mass density of the wood wherever you want, right? I think honestly, like if people want to use them, go for it. To me, it's like the tush push. Like let it happen, see what happens. I don't think it has to be a thing where you're saying, oh, this is a clear advantage. If you have the same opportunity, right, to either do the play or use the same bat, then do that. Don't complain about it and, get it banned.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I'm with you on that. I just don't really think, I'm being real with you, I don't really think this is going to last as long as people really think it's going to last.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, like, they're gonna come together and they're going to realize that this just is just not what they're gonna do. I'm telling you, it won't even last for as long as, like, I'm telling you.
Yep.
Give it like maybe max this year, and they're gonna ban it. Like, because everyone's gonna do it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no. Who does Philadelphia taking on? I know that they lost.
Braves. Yeah.
They lost two. They won. No, they won 2 out of 3.
They did. They won the series against Dodgers.
Yeah, against the Dodgers, which is big.
That was
definitely
amazing.
making a statement right there, 100%.
It is, and I think,
and I know it's early in the season, like, oh, when you beat the division champs in April, or no, World Series champs in April, same thing.
Yeah,
freaking,
it's early.
But like,
yeah.
I mean, hey, come on now. I mean,
they were great games, and I think JT Realmuto stopping that steal from Ohtani, which like he's been really good at that and hasn't been easy to stop.
Just wait till Ohtani gets back on the mound, dude. I think that's gonna be.
It's gonna make it different.
Gonna be in the next month. I think he's gonna be back on the mound in like the next month.
All right.
Honestly, I don't know. Just wait.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're off to a good start. I mean, so far in the season they're 7-3. Again, that means nothing. It's early.
Right behind Philly, or right behind the Mets.
Yeah. So I think we're like both the Yankees and the Phillies are second in their divisions right now, technically. But I think they're off to a good start. I really liked seeing Edmundo Sosa out in left field yesterday. I think, for him, it's a good start. So we'll see how that goes.
Miami's right there too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I mean, my in-laws right now are in Atlanta watching the series. So, yesterday might not have been the best game for them, but we'll see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Philadelphia? How do you think that they're gonna do this year?
So, I know for sure. Like, I feel they can clinch the NL East again early in the season. But I really want the World Series for them this year. Like, I want them to make it. I think that they were robbed of a World Series when Rob Thompson did not take out Craig Kimbrell and he just kept throwing. And
wasn't that the year he all faced Houston?
Yep. So I feel like
what, 23.
Yeah.
No. 23 was when the Rangers faced the D-backs, remember?
Oh yeah, okay, so it's 22.
Wasn't 20?
Because it was very recent.
I swear 22 was Astros Braves.
We can look it up. But
I mean, go for it.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely were robbed of that World Series, and I think I want that so bad for Bryce. I want it bad for Rob, like Trey Turner has kind of turned out to be like a weird bust, so we'll see how the rest of it goes.
My friend has him in fantasy baseball, but I've been hearing that he hasn't been playing.
He hasn't been playing.
What's up with him? Give us something. What's going on with him?
He's just not as good as like he could be, and I don't know if it's like you come in on that like slump and you're not feeling it. But I'm excited to see a lot of the new guys actually play. And I mean, Alec Boehm has kind of come back. You got Harper hitting pretty well. You got Schwarber and Nick Castellanos, who's always kind of a liability, but he's been doing really well early this season. So I'm excited to see that. But I hope they take some of this momentum and just like have a great season. Because right now, and they have Jesus Luzardo, who just got signed, and he's been a great pitcher addition. Because, like, I feel like Wheeler's great. I feel like Nola, it's like hit and miss on how he does up there on the mound. So I'm hoping
Wheeler,
they just.
You got Nola. Who else is on the?
Ranger Suarez, I think, is injured right now, so he's out. But I just hope the season like goes well this year.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I definitely have him in the playoffs. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing, and I think, this is probably the most obvious thing, health, obviously. You gotta stay healthy.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, it's not actually health related, but it reminds me, I was gonna ask you about the Yankees and that fan that tried to rip the ball away from Mookie during the World Series.
Well,
what did you think about that?
That guy's freaking banned from MLB games for the rest of his life. And I don't feel bad for him. And he did that on a World Series game.
Yeah.
Nationally televised in front of everybody. I don't feel bad for him one bit because he did that to himself.
Yep.
He tried starting crap when he shouldn't have.
Yep.
That's on him. I don't feel bad for him at all.
Yeah. And I mean,
me personally, I think that's messed up because like you're in a World Series game that are probably $1,000 a ticket, or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
and you do something like that, like really?
Yeah, it's crazy because the ball is in play, and I've seen it happen at regular games throughout the season. Like it'll happen once in a blue moon, but to do it in the World Series is insane. So. Yeah, man, good luck to that guy.
I don't understand why he tried, doing that with the whole. Like, why? What's the point? What's the reason for that? Like, and it's stupid. Like, why you have to try to make a fool out of yourself for no reason? Try to get someone's attention. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason for it.
Yeah, and now you just have negative attention.
And now, all that does to you now, A, it doesn't help you, and B, you're banned for games for the rest of your life. Yeah. So you basically just said, peace to going to MLB games ever again, because that's gone. Yeah. And I hate to say it, I don't know if you saw at Citi Field the other day, there was a fan that ran out on the stadium, and they had security, have to take him out of there.
Yep,
and
games
I'm
paused.
like...
Yeah. I don't understand that. I mean, I guess like some people just like revel in the attention or like their 2 seconds of fame, but if you're going to a game you love for like and supporting a team that you like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And now you guys also have a loosened facial hair policy.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you prefer that versus the clean shaven all the time?
Honestly, I kind of like what the Yankees are doing with that.
Yeah.
Giving them a chance to actually grow a beard.
Yeah.
But getting that stuff legalized. But I'm gonna go to my first break. Come back, talk a little bit more about MLB, and move on with the script, of course. And we'll be back with Midday with the Raj with Al and Joan in about 5 minutes. Then I'll do a PSA when we return to.
Sounds good.
And stay tuned. We'll be back.
Woo.
Welcome back to Midday with the Raj, Part 10. Scoreboard update. Brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. So let's make this up. Yankees and Tigers, the only MLB game going on right now. No score in the top of the second. Jack Flaherty versus Max Fried. Rubber game of a 3-game set before the Yankees go back home tomorrow. Off day tomorrow, but go back home for a 3-game series against the San Francisco Giants. The red hot San Francisco Giants. Yeah. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm back with some PSAs. Before we get back to the script, and my guest Joan, of course, is right behind me. Broadcast and read-ins value iRadio. Are you or someone you love visually impaired and want to stay informed of local news? Free 24/7 audio accessible local news and information is available from Valley iRadio for those in the Pioneer Valley who are no longer able to read independently due to visual or other medical and physical challenges. Contact them at www.valleyiradio.org or call 413-747-7337. That's 413-747-7337 for details on how to listen from one of their special radios or their special radios or through their website, smart speakers, cables, access channel, or mobile phone. I got one more PSA. I know Pat just handed one to us a second ago, but I'm going to go right here. Friday, April 11th, the Casino Prom, a headphone dance experience at HCC from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the cafeteria down in the Kittricks building. Stop by Student Engagement CC 227 to purchase your ticket. $10 HCC tickets, non-HCC one guest is $15. Tickets are $20 each at the door. Co-hosted by Student Engagement Sensory Space. That is Friday, April 11th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the cafeteria. Stop by Student Engagement CC 227 to purchase your tickets. $10 HCC students, $15 non-HCC student with one guest per student. Tickets are $20 each at the door. I might purchase my ticket. I don't know if I'll go though. I don't know yet. It's kind of like, late.
Mm-hmm.
Because they told me that a week ago. More like a few days ago. But I don't know if I'll go to that. But I have something to wear. Like I have stuff. Yeah, nice. It's this Friday.
Yeah.
From 7 to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
should be good.
Yeah, it should be. So back to the script. Yeah. You have anything? Who's on the mound for Philly tonight?
I actually don't know that. I'd have to check. I can check that. Well, who's on the mound for the Yankees right now?
Max Fried.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I really liked, like I said, I like Jesus Luzardo's pitching was really good. And I really like Zach Wheeler. He was on yesterday. It was good to see. It said Zach Wheeler, but I don't think it is. So we'll see. I guess we'll find out tonight. Oh, it's Jesus Luzardo. Yeah, he's coming on tonight.
Who's up?
Yep.
Who's pitching?
Jesus Luzardo, I believe. Unless I'm wrong. Could be Jose Alvarado. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how game 2 goes. I'm really excited to see it. Although, like, a part of me, I like afternoon baseball, so I'm kind of bummed all of these are like night games. Just because that's when I do like most of my studying. Then I go to sleep. But
fair enough.
At least like we were talking about during the break, like there's a pitch clock now, so you don't have those like 5-hour games with a guy just sitting on the mound for like a minute. So I'm excited that's finally shortened a little bit.
Yeah. So, you got anything else on the MLB?
No, just that I'm excited that baseball is back. I'm excited, for the season to continue. It's one of those sports that, like, to me, it feels like it goes on all year just because you have spring training games as well. Which if you get a chance to go to spring training, highly recommend. It's a lot of fun.
I would like to go eventually. I think my dad told me this too. The George N. Steinberg Field spring training facility at the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'd like to go in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, this year we went to see the Phillies play the Tigers down there, and it was a lot of fun. It was just exciting. And it's a better atmosphere. Like, we caught a foul ball. There's like a lot of fun things for fans and cool souvenirs, but it's just nice to go in the nice weather, especially that time of year in February up north. It gets really cold. So we'll see how the season goes.
Gotcha. No, but like you said, 162 games, so long a season.
Yeah.
You can't determine it in April.
No. So. I mean, like especially because you have till October. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a lot of months, 100%. A lot of games.
And it's just so much time left that you can't do that now.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on. You know, we covered the MLB, so NBA play-in starts next week.
Yep.
What do you got for that?
Not much, honestly. I know you and I were talking a little bit about how the Nuggets let their coach go.
What's his name? Mike Malone?
Yeah, Mike Malone. And I mean, they also let the GM go, Calvin Booth.
My friends were texting yesterday. What's up with all these playoff teams letting their coaches go?
Yeah, because the Grizzlies fired their head coach, Taylor Jenkins, right? They let him go, like, I think last month. But, I mean, I think a lot of them are just really wanting to, like, increase their chances for playoffs. And I know the Nuggets said that, you know, despite the fact that Mike Malone has actually been their quote-unquote winningest coach, like, I think he primarily wanted to focus on the veteran players and give them more time. Whereas, like, you know, the GM, Calvin, wanted, you know, to give the newer players a little bit more time, which they have seen, like, more time now. But it's still, you know, I still don't understand that, you know, towards the end of the season. You think they would, like, finish out the season, then let the guy go. But if the Nuggets organization thinks this increases their chances, I guess that'll play out, you know, on the parquet or court, whatever kind they got.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, I think that this, like, you know, you know, especially, you know, with Sundays, is the last regular season game.
Yep.
So, you know, we're just getting to that point where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna, you know, I see how Golden State finishes out the season. So.
Yeah. You Golden State fan?
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't know. You know, there's only till Sunday, and wouldn't the playoffs start in like 2 weeks?
Yep. Yep, they get a little bit of a break and then come in hot to the playoffs, which I think is kind of nice, you know, because like basketball as well plays a ton of games, and they're like, for them, they're high scoring games because they're running back and forth, you know. That's one thing that I learned watching watching basketball live, is that the game goes super quick, and I feel like you're looking at one end and then the ball's on the other end before you know it.
100%.
Yeah.
But, you know, and just, what do you think's next for the 76ers?
Honestly, I think they need a little bit of a shuffle. Like, I think they're one of the teams that should let their coach go, like, rather than, you know, holding on. I think they need a little bit of a rebuild, right? They kind of built the team around James Harden and Joel Embiid, and Harden's gone, Embiid is injured, so it's just like it's been a slow downfall, and they just keep losing games. I mean, I think a little bit of a coaching change, a little bit more focus on, you know, maybe putting that time into the film and watching and seeing, you know, how they're playing against their, you know, the other teams, and kind of taking a little bit of a lead from that. And I think putting more emphasis on just shooting the ball. There a lot of like turnovers happen. They'll take the ball, go to, you know, the basket, and then the ball's turned over. I think if they just focused more on get to the end, shoot the ball, and then worry about passing like back and forth. I think that's what annoys me the most of the games that I've watched, is just a lot of passing back and forth at the basket and not enough shooting. So
tends to happen a little bit. What do you think the finals is going to be?
Ooh. I mean, so Steph Curry's been like hot all season.
Honestly, I don't know if Golden State's gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna get to the finals.
Yeah. I mean,
the Thunder really seem like a team to really be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, the Celtics have, like, you know, I think they have a decentish chance. I know we talked about the Nuggets earlier. I think they have a pretty good chance. I mean, Jokic is a great player. So I'm excited to kind of see what happens in the playoffs. But yeah, we'll see if the Celtics can make a repeat or what's next.
I want to be if they have a full healthy team come playoffs, I really wouldn't be surprised if they win it all.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Back to back.
They could.
Yeah.
Very well possibly win it back to back. So
Yeah.
I really wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics, repeat and win back to back years. So and get their 19th banner.
Right.
So
I mean, Boston would be a happy city. They love parades in that town. So
Warriors beat the Suns last night. The Celtics beat the Knicks last night in overtime. The Celtics play the Magic tonight, and I know Golden State is taking on. Who's Golden State taking on tonight?
let's see.
Check out the Celtics is too, just make sure this is accurate.
All right. I think tonight they're taking on the Spurs.
Celtics and Spurs.
Yeah.
How about Golden State? Was I right?
Yep. Golden State. Oh, wait. No, Golden State is taking on the Spurs.
The Celtics are taking on the Magic.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you think's going to happen for both of those ball clubs?
Yeah. I mean, who do you think is going to end up at the bottom of the league this year?
For sure.
If you want to go the other way.
Yeah. I think Golden State could pick up the dub against the Magic. The Magic's kind of a scrappy team, though.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they just find a way to win. So, and I think there's something to that when it comes to like underdog teams is that they'll go out and put everything they have on the court. So, yeah, interesting game to watch for sure.
Actually, I messed up with the whole. There's only one game going on in the MLB. The Mets are playing the Marlins as of right now. So.
Yep.
But those are the only two games going on, and apparently both of those games they are freezing. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird time of year right now.
Yeah, no score in both of those games. The Yankees are in the bottom of the second. They had bases loaded, but didn't cash in. Got to capitalize those situations. This didn't happen, but early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Mets and the Marlins as well, and everything else is later on. So, no, back to the whole Celtics. I think the Celtics will win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum and Porzingis had a pretty excellent night, as I heard of last night. Golden State had a blowout win against the Suns.
Oh yeah.
So, that was a big one.
Yeah, it was 133.95. That's crazy.
They whooped them.
Yeah.
NHL, Alex Ovechkin breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. He become the all-time leading scorer for goal scorer.
Yeah.
895. What do you got with that?
I think it's great. I mean, I think Wayne would be happy for him. He does a lot of commentating on games these days.
Pretty happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think to see anybody play as long as Alex Ovechkin has played, which I talked to my husband about it a while ago, and I was like, I feel like he's been playing for so long because I remember him playing, in the late 2000s, and now it's 2025. So, I think it's a great accomplishment for him. I think he's an incredible player, and I think he's definitely up there in all-time greats next to Wayne. So, congratulations to him, right?
100%. No, definitely biggest accomplishment in his career, I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, he's the Caps franchise player. So. And
to be honest, I don't know much about the NHL, so I'm kind of letting you take it in there.
Yeah. I mean, so I watch a lot of AHL games currently. We have tickets to Springfield Thunderbirds.
There are the AAA
Go T-Birds.
hockey teams.
They're the mining team for the St. Louis Blues, who are also have an incredible run right now. They're amazing, and I do love. So again, I am a partial Flyers fan, but as a T-Birds fan, I really like to see the.
Been to a few T-Birds games in the past. Before I let you continue, I think I recorded a fight.
Yeah. Oh, there's fights all the time. No, it's great.
That's normal, to be honest. So.
Yeah. I mean, I love supporting the local team, but, you know, through supporting them, I've seen a lot of great players, you know, that they've taken from the AHL and put up in the St. Louis Blues. And so seeing those guys that I got to see here, you know, in Springfield play in the big leagues and do really well has been amazing. I mean, Zach Bolduc, you got Nathan Walker, you got Adam Gaudette, who went up to the Ottawa Senators, and he's doing really great this season. But to see that team really just like pick up the pace and go on a winning streak has been amazing.
And you know what? And the funny thing is, and this happens with any sport, Joan, and I feel like I could say this, said it before, I'll say it again. I know I sound like a broken record, but just hear me out here.
Yeah.
It only takes one to start a winning streak.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And that can just kickstart a team. It doesn't matter what league and what sport it is. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, especially in hockey. Like, it could be the second half of the season and your entire front office and your entire fan base is ready to kill you. Yeah. And 2 seconds later, you go on a winning streak and they love you a minute later. So,
yeah. But, no, I mean, that's what's been happening lately. And I think that the T-Birds are also, you know, in line to maybe make the Calder Cup playoffs this year.
Yeah, speaking of the T-Birds, my former a broadcasting teacher at Westfield Technical Academy is their PA announcer.
Nice.
Actually. So.
That's pretty sweet. I'll have to say hello to him.
Yeah, his name is Stephen Forney, so shout out Steve.
Yeah, I know Steve. Yeah.
You know Forney?
Yeah, we know Forney. We listen to his podcast, and we also see him at games all the time because our seats are right near him. So
you knew that he was the PA announcer?
Yeah. No, great announcer.
Used to
Love
be,
Steve.
My broadcasting teacher also was a Boston Bruins PA announcer as well.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into a whole description about him,
Yeah.
but he was my teacher for my sophomore through senior year.
And he does basketball too.
Yes, he does actually women's basketball. He does WNBA. He is the Connecticut Suns PA announcer.
He is. Great guy.
Although he would always try to tell me that the WNBA was better than the National Basketball Association.
It is.
You think that?
So, okay. Regardless of whether or not the WNBA like makes money, which it's always in a deficit.
Everybody has mixed opinions, but I'm telling you, I'll never. He's like, have you ever watched a game, Al? I'm like, I did. Just I'm not interested. I'm really not. Well, they're better than what you watch right now, and I'm like, that's your opinion. I'm not agreeing with that, and also I think that's wrong because women's basketball is not the same as the NBA. Well, it is. It's professional sports, but it's just. I don't know. Everyone's entitled to their own mix of opinions. I'm just always going to stay biased and say the NBA is better. I might have watched a few minutes of WNBA basketball because he told me to turn it on one time when he was on ESPN for a game. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinions. So,
yeah. I mean, so I watched some of the games this year. I think like basketball's an interesting sport anyway, but to me, it's just like the uncalled fouls in women's basketball are just like rampant, and you see a lot more of them than you would in the NBA. Like I saw Caitlin Clark do like a flagrant travel, like it was like ridiculous, and I was like, oh, okay, so they just allowed that because you know she scores a lot. And so you see a lot of that. I do think that. You know, women's sports should probably be more hyped up than it is. But again, I think the only reason it's not as popular is because it doesn't make as much money. I mean, even looking at the stats like that I was looking at before we like got on the radio, like Paige Bueckers has had an amazing like career over there at UConn, and she has an all-time like point total of 2,442. She's number 9 in UConn women's, like above Diana Taurasi. And in men's, you know, you have like the all-time like career leader has 2,145. So it's just like the women are just as good, if not better. And I mean, one of my favorites never played in the NBA is Cheryl Miller. And she's amazing. I mean, obviously her brother was in the NBA and he did very well for himself, but I think women's sports should be given more.
Bro, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not my thing.
Yep. Fair enough.
But yeah, thought I would bring up about Stephen Forney and a few things about that. We mentioned the NHL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep an eye out on that Stanley Cup run that's happening right now.
playoffs are always fun. I think when the NBA and NHL playoffs happen, it's always great because then of course the MLB is in like the season, so
yeah.
We have about what 9 minutes? Yeah, 9 minutes.
Yeah.
What do we got before we wrap up and I play the last two songs? Last two songs will be "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica and
good one.
"Ain't Talking About Love" by Van Halen.
Yeah.
NFL draft predictions. I saved this for last. I know there's not really much to talk about because the draft's in a couple weeks. All about mock drafts and all that. But what do you think? First of all, where's Philadelphia picking?
I think they did a couple of like wily trades.
They have to be like the last team picking. They won the Super Bowl, so they have to be what, like number 30?
Yeah, so they're definitely the last team picking. I think they did trade for some earlier picks, but I think that's in the second and third rounds. I don't think it's in the first. What do you
think the most need for Philly right
now? So obviously, I think our offensive line is really good. I think our defensive line has been amazing, especially under Vic Fangio. I do think, having a couple of extra safeties would be good. I think really locking in on making sure that offense is really tight would be really nice. And I mean, they've got AJ Brown, they've got Devontae, they've got, Jalen, they've got Saquon. So I think that's going to be great. But I think having, a couple more people would really round out the team right now.
Extra hand for sure.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think the Giants need for this upcoming draft?
It's crazy you asked that, and I knew you were gonna ask that anyway, since I am a Giants fan. But we have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's crazy. How's that gonna work out? It
happened all in a span of 4 days too.
Yeah.
So, here's my thing. I still think the Giants. I know there's been rumors and tweets and this and that and the Giants are in on this guy but they still need a future quarterback.
I think they need to invest in someone
they're
young.
Gonna still go for a QB.
Yeah,
I said, but
where's he gonna go? How are you fighting those people in the locker room to decide who starts?
If we don't get a quarterback, which I highly doubt, we're not getting a quarterback. We're definitely getting a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because no offense to Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston, they're veterans and they're not the future quarterback for us.
Yep.
They're here to help.
Yeah.
I feel like they got those guys to help develop when we draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's gonna help. They're gonna help.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we paid them the money and all that, and you gave one of them $8 million or the other one $14, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. But I mean, I still think we're in on a QB. I still think the Giants are going to draft a quarterback.
Yep.
My friend said you better not take Travis Hunter because he's a Pats fan and they're number 4. So he's and I'm going over his house for the draft too. Yeah. So he's better not take Travis Hunter. I'm telling you, better not take him. I'm I can't control what my team picks or not. I'm a fan from Massachusetts. I have nothing to do with their front office. I have nothing to do with their scheme.
Start writing letters out.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? Call Joe Show and be like, oh, hey, I'm some random fan from Massachusetts. Can I call and say not to draft Travis Hunter, please?
Yeah.
What?
I
know he's just joking with me and all that, but I'm just bruh.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Joel Schoen should still be the GM?
I think they kept him in Dayball.
Yeah.
Just to see if we draft a quarterback, see how we do developing him.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why those two are still in office.
Yeah.
But if they have another down year, they're going to get fired.
Yeah, because last year they were 3-14, which is wild for a season. But I feel one, you need a QB that you can develop the team around, but 2, you really got to build that team around I think what they say is right, and offense wins games but defense wins championships. So if you can get a good defense going and you can get a quarterback that really has a good O-line, you guys would have a better chance. But I think right now they've concentrated a lot on individual players and not really building the team. So
we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what really comes to play.
Yeah.
So you think maybe a little extra help on the offensive line is what you said.
Yeah, I think a little extra help on the offensive line is good, right? Because, I mean, Russell Wilson, he's a veteran, and he did pretty good this year with the Steelers.
I was talking about Philadelphia lines. That's what you said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
I mean, the Giants could use more linemen, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's going to come into a later aspect in the draft.
Yeah.
So, but at number 3, if Shadur or Cam Ward's there, I know they're not really the best quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's really cocky. Another one's, I don't know. If we're talking the quarterback class from last year,
yeah,
different story. But I don't know if you saw a show called Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And the Giants, but you know, we had to try to trade a bunch of our first round picks here to the Patriots.
Yeah.
To try to get Drake May.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Drake May belongs where he's at. He belongs in New England.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting Neighbors.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a franchise wide receiver.
Yep.
Right? A true number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
We have 2 quarterbacks now that can definitely get him the ball.
Yep.
One has an interception problem. And that's Jameis Winston. I know
of course.
You know that.
Yep.
Tends to throw a lot of picks, but he's definitely not going to be our number 1 quarterback. He'll be on the bench.
Yep.
If anything, and worst case of stuff, we don't get a quarterback, and we're going to. There's no way we don't, because that's the only reason why Dayball and Schoen are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Push games to shove. If we don't, Russell Wilson will definitely get Neighbors the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, at least you don't have Aaron Rodgers, so you have that going for you.
No, thank God. I was saying that for days. My friends are like, "How many times are you gonna say this, dude?" And I'm like, "Dude, I could not."
No, nobody wants him.
He's weird. That's the first thing. Nobody likes him either. That's the other thing. And 3, he's an old, washed-up has-been. I'm saying that period, point blank on my show.
I mean, for a while, I thought he was following, Brett Favre's arc, but I'm glad that he's not. And
honestly,
I think he just needs to retire.
My personal opinion is he should just retire.
Yeah,
I've said that.
He should have retired.
4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he was injured half the time he was on the Jets.
Unless he goes to the Steelers or the Vikings.
Yeah.
And dominates and continues to play.
He's not going to.
He's not going to, though.
Yeah.
He thinks he's all that, but he sucks.
Yeah.
He's not good.
I think the only person that ever
and he's trying to pull a Tom Brady. Oh, I'm gonna play so I can't. No,
you're not.
You're not even close to that.
Yeah.
That freaking thing, bro. I ain't no way.
I mean, the only person I think that ever went out and came back and actually had a good season maybe is Joe Flacco most recently. But even he retired again after immediately. So yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, it is 1:59. I was supposed to be off 5 minutes ago, but we got caught up in draft predictions. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Great to be here with you. I
definitely will have you on before the end of the semester, 100%.
I'll be here.
Because the end of the semester is May 17th,
mm-hmm.
So before then, you're getting back on here. Maybe we can even do a draft recap.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know where to find me. You know where to find Pat. Just let me know.
Yeah.
So.
And you know where to listen, 103.5.
The best in variety. Thank you for listening with Midday with the Raj, part 10. And I will be back next week from 1 to 2 right here at Holyoke Community College. Have a great week, everyone.